comments and people start popping up.
We are not canned, we are live. Oh, this poor marabou. This poor marabou has given its life.
Oh, poor marabou.
Oh, poor marabou.
Let us sing the praises of the marabou who has passed.
Oh,
marabou, you were so
great
and strong. You drank a lot of alcohol and drugs. Far more than me. Example to us all.
It's now mandatory to not get enough sleep the night before rehearsal.
Yeah! everything's funny.
I was like, yeah, it's not pretty good sleep, right? You get used to this.
Oh, marabou, you had the greatest legs. Your calves were amazing, probably because of all the biking you did. Oh, marabou, where did you get that name? It's not important now.
The plan's gonna be saved for all time.
Because you are dead.
Like, I'm gonna rip this and this will always exist. Okay, check me out there on Twitter and all my other social stuff. And then we will get the sucker started. So we'll have this monitor up during the show. And then we'll have the other two monitors as well that will be just that image. This is basically so in between the games and stuff, I can talk to the chat and get suggestions from them. It's also to help me remind me to do that. It's an actual. I wanted to do it last show and I just completely forgot, like, to get a suggestion from somebody at home. So I would like to keep it up like that. Hey, Muffy, how are you? Hi, Leech. So this will be up. Yeah, here are the guys. Here's Jeff and Charles and Mark. And Vanessa on piano. Just a hand. That's great. And Vanessa. So yeah, my idea that I'll have this up. If we want during games, I can just sleep the monitor if you think that's going to be too distracting, because I don't want you guys to like get distracted by the chat being up while you're playing a game. Yeah. If you're cool enough to like just ignore it, then we can sleep it up. But if not, I can always sleep the monitor and then we can just unsleep it afterwards.
Okay.
How's the sound for you guys? Everybody know? Sugar, sugar! Great. Lil quiet. Lil Quay?
You're a little quiet.
Saying more kawaii.
I think he meant more quiet.
Wants to be
Kawaii. You're a little kawaii.
Lil Quay. Everything better? Everything good? Everything good in Kauai? Okay. So, I just have to...
Oh, it's your fault!
Oh, it's you?
Maybe it's on your end!
Hey! Now we're blowing out everybody. Should we come over to your house and turn up your TV for you?
Yeah.
What did I do?
Yeah, it's probably Jeff's fault. Okay, so what I want to do today is...
We blame Charles.
What we're going to do for you guys, we're going to go over the rules of improv, and we're also going to play some games too. Where is the webcam? It's over there. I'll look at the webcam. Webcam's over here on the laptop. So we are going to go over the rules of improv, and we're going to play some games together to demonstrate those different rules. Every school of improv that you go to, they're going to have different rules that they're going to teach you. And typically, the first rule of improv at any school of improv is yes and. If you're watching and you've taken improv before. But I've added a different rule to number one, and yes and is actually my second rule of improv. The first rule of improv that I go for is listen, and because it is the most important thing that you can do in a scene, and you have to be listening in order to agree to what your partner is saying and add to it. Because believe it or not, if you're not listening, you can still agree with your partner and add to the scene, and you weren't listening to what they just said. And what happens in those scenarios is your partner will think they're on one path, and you'll agree, and then you'll add something else, and it's almost like a misstep in moving a scene forward. So you absolutely have to be listening to the person that you are in a scene with because you are building this scene together. Now, we're going to do an exercise that the guys have never done before in listening. And this is completely an exercise game. It is not a game that you would do for a show because this can be a very frustrating game. And it's not about building a comedic scene. It hones in on listening to what your partner just said and then adding to the scene. So what's going to happen is two guys are going to be in a scene, and they're going to try to keep it very simple. First person is going to say a line or two, very short, like, hey, it's a great day. Your partner then has to repeat that line you just said, hey, it's a great day, and then they're going to add something. Then it goes back to person one. They have to say the added part, and then add to it. So it's going to be, hey, it's a great day. Hey, it's a great day. I agree it's a great day. I agree it's a great day. Let's go fly a kite. Let's go fly a kite. I brought mine. Did you bring yours? I brought mine. Did you bring yours? I sure did. Here's mine. So it's just this idea of it hones you into listening to the point where you're not planning the scene ahead. You're actually working on being in the moment with your scene partner and building a scene together. Do either of you guys want to try giving this a shot?
Yes.
Sure.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. What?
So that is Jeff agreeing and not listening to what I just said. So any two guys, you can do these with puppets if you want, and I can switch it to the camera up top.
So. Sure, what the hell?
Want to do that? There are some puppets. There's a couple in the bag. I brought about like 6 different puppets. So yeah, this first one is just going to be a lesson in listening. Listen, listen, listen. Oh, you brought the dinosaur! Beautiful. So I'm going to switch cameras to the puppet one so you guys can see the puppet shot from the show. And we will try giving this scene a try. Just whenever they are ready. Their heads might pop in and out. This is just rehearsal, so we're not worried about too much coverage. How you guys doing about that? Excellent. So yeah, just do a very base scene of you're in an ice cream shop and an object is a screwdriver. Whenever you're ready.
So remind me on the rules one more time.
So the rules are going to be you're going to start a scene together. You're going to start. You're not trying to trick your partner in this.
Sure.
It's build it together. So
like
you're just going to say.
I'm trying to trick people all the time.
Yeah, he's usually Mark's trying to trick everybody. So you're just going to say a very simple line. Hey, it's a great day. Then Charles has to repeat that thing that you just say.
It's a great day
and then add something.
for ice cream.
And then you're going to say, for ice cream. You're going to repeat what he added.
Yeah.
And then you're going to add. Then he's going to repeat what you added. Then he's going to add. You're going to repeat what he added. So then you're just listening to each other of what's being added. So whenever you guys are ready to give that a shot, you're in an ice cream store and there's a screwdriver.
I'm kind of hungry.
I'm kind of hungry. I could go for some ice cream.
I could go for some ice cream. But look! There's a screwdriver here.
But look, there's a screwdriver here. I hope it does not interfere with us eating ice cream.
I hope it does not interfere with us eating ice cream because I am famished.
Because I am famished, and screwdrivers are often wont to interrupt eating ice cream, I assume.
And screwdrivers are often want to, what did you say?
Interrupt eating
Interrupt
ice cream,
Ice cream, I assume, because they are often hungry for ice cream.
Because they are often hungry for ice cream, these nasty little screwdrivers, get out! Get out!
These nasty little screwdrivers, get out! Get out! Oh, there's a whole herd of them in here.
There's a whole herd of them in here. These little carnivorous screwdrivers. They're carnivorous, aren't they?
These carnivorous screwdrivers, they're carnivorous, aren't they? But are they a herd or a murder?
Oh, but are they a herd or a murder? I think they are a tool belt.
A tool? I think they are a tool belt. So, a tool belt of screwdrivers?
So, a tool belt of screwdrivers? Yes, that is correct.
Yes, that is correct. And we will herd them out with sheepdogs.
And we will herd them out with sheepdogs, inbred ones that were very expensive.
Inbred ones that were very expensive. So we don't have any money for ice cream.
So, we don't have any money for ice cream. Damn you, screwdrivers!
Damn you, screwdrivers!
See? That's pretty good. Just beware, like, if puppeteering left-handed, just make sure you're still dropping. Yeah. It's kind of like flip-top, but like you're challenging yourself to just let's switch up. Yeah, why not? So we're strengthening new skills as well. So that was a pretty good scene, Jeff. Do we want to give it a shot? Sure. Okay. Grab any puppet. Yeah, you guys can use this time to try whatever you would like as well. Clapping noises. Focus is so angry without the projector screen there. I mean, I can lock I was just trying to do like autofocus on the top camera, but I can totally lock it if like the lighting is too extreme for this right now. Jeff, give me like halfway. Look, cut the difference a little bit.
I'll cut your difference.
I'll take one step back. No, it's not bad.
We're going
I'm just gonna lock the camera. Okay, go ahead and move forward for me. Yeah, there we go. Just lock. It's fine when there's a puppet. Oh, it just wants to go wonky. Yeah, we have this weird backlight going on here that's not on during the show.
Turn it off.
And we don't have a tech here. We had to
bribe
to
someone to
figure
look
out
at
our
the
own
booth
tech.
for us.
We had to figure out our own tech.
We don't actually know what's going on.
We don't actually know what's going on. Can you guys give us like a random location and an object?
Can you guys give us
Hey.
a location and an object?
Yes.
Barbecue pit on the beach.
A barbecue pit on the beach. I also want to add that if you've never done improv before, suggestions are exactly that. They can motivate the scene completely. It can just give you a brief idea. It can be thrown out. They can take an element from it. Suggestions are just something to get it started, but it does not have to drive the scene. It's a beautiful day for a barbecue.
It's a beautiful day for a barbecue. Let's have hamburgers.
Let's have hamburgers and hot dogs.
And hot dogs. I forgot the buns.
I forgot the buns, but I always bring mine.
But I always bring mine, 'cause they're attached to me.
Because they're attached to me. I sure hope we have some stone ground whole seed mustard.
I sure hope we have some whole stone ground whole seed mustard. I really enjoy stone ground whole seed mustard.
I really enjoy stone ground whole seed mustard. Man, if I could smother myself in whole seed stone ground mustard, I totally would.
Man, if I could smother myself in whole seed stone ground mustard, I totally would. I'm gonna do that right now.
I'm gonna do that right now. You know, I lost my virginity to whole seed stone ground mustard.
You know, I lost my virginity to whole seed stone ground mustard back in 1984.
Back in 1984. That sounds like a monologue. Why don't you say it?
That sounds like a monologue. Why don't you say it? I recall the time when I was just a horny teen rodent.
I recall the time when I was just a horny teen rodent looking to stick my junk in any sort of moist, thick mixture.
Looking to stick my junk in any moist, thick mixture. Too bad I didn't find any. It was a very, very sad day.
Too bad I couldn't find any. It was a very sad day. But then, I saw it at the back of the refrigerator.
But then, I saw it at the back of the refrigerator.
Oh.
Stone ground whole seed mustard!
Stone ground whole seed mustard! And it was the perfect size for my junk.
And it was the perfect size for my junk! Costco Extra Bulk!
Costco Extra Bulk! It's huge! And scene. That's pretty good for like a first go round.
Yay, us!
Yay! Yay, us! Okay, so the next game that we're going to do, I'll switch to this camera for that. I didn't get a hard work for my digital switcher for this. So that is the just a quick exercise you can do in listening. Again, that's not something you'd probably do in front of an audience. It's just more getting you on the same key. The next one we're going to talk about is yes and this is typically everyone else's first rule of improv. And the idea behind yes and is that when your partner says something and you are building a scene together, you are always going to agree to what your partner is saying, and you are going to add to it. This is a very important thing to do because once you start negating what your partner is saying, you're no longer building a scene together. You need to remember that you are in this together and you're trying to build something solid. So always agreeing and adding to it is the best possible scenario when you're trying to build something from nothing. So to demonstrate this, we're going to play a game called Agreement. This is another game that we've never played before. It's going to be two people in a scene. And to get you practice in the idea of agreeing, you always have to start your line with some sort of agreeing word. It can be, you can say yes and. You can say, of course, exactly, rightio, sounds good, terrific, we got that. Like some sort of acceptance where you are definitely taking what the person just said, and then you're going to add something to the scene. So this is just going to be a game of agreement. So just make sure you start every line with some sort of yes. Some version of the word yes. And then, I have another game I want to play too, but I think I might save that for another rule. Who wants to play this one first?
Mark and I
Can we switch it up? Okay. Mark and Jeff are going to play this one. Does somebody at home want to give us, Leach, can you give me a location? Maybe like a small family-owned business. And then if someone else wants to put in the chat like some sort of object. It's huge. Okay, so an object will be a table, and then give us some sort of location, like a dry cleaners. We already did an ice cream store, a tailor shop, a barber. Okay, you're in a barber shop.
Barber shop.
And your object that you can use is a table. And then I'll switch the camera over, and then whenever you guys are ready.
And so the only rule, we just have to have an agreement word at the beginning of
You just have to have some sort of agreement.
Hello, welcome to my barber shop.
Yeah, thanks. It's pretty nice.
Yes, it is very nice. I like it very much. Are you here? You are here for the haircut special?
Okay, sure. Yeah, I could get a haircut. Why not?
Yes, exactly. Okay, we're going to take a little bit here. Let me see. Yes.
Sure. Just get right in there. Just start grabbing me and touching me. It's fine. I don't have any personal space issues.
Exactly. I know what I'm doing. I went to school for 2 days. Yes, I like
Okay, 2 days. Seems like maybe could have. Is that like the curriculum, or is it supposed to be longer?
Oh yes, it was an online course, a 2-day online course. I'm licensed to operate in this strip mall only.
Excellent! I love that. I just need. Why is my scalp itching really, really bad? What are you putting in there?
Ah, yes, you see what I am doing here is I am putting in the bed bugs because they are very good at exfoliating. They eat the old dead skin and things. Where are you going? Thank you.
Okay, so bed bugs. Good. So they're biting a lot, and the itching has turned to like scratching and like a digging pain.
Yes.
Is that normal?
Oh, yes, that is very normal. It's very good. That's how you know it is working. Yes.
Great. Thanks. So are you ever gonna actually cut my hair, or I don't see any actual like scissors or like combs.
Yes, I'm going to cut your hair.
I just see lots of jars of bugs.
But not with a blade.
I see. I just see lots of jars of bugs. Any blades? I just see a lot of jars of bugs. That is intense. Yeah, I thought that one pretty well. How did that feel to do that? Just to be like,
It's hard. It's hard to do nothing but
agree.
Even if it, because like you can't.
The hard part is I'm trying not to say the same.
Yeah. Oh, you don't have to worry about that. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know.
He's challenging himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels. I can't just say yes.
I did. Yeah.
But yeah.
But you can also like, if you feel like you're like, a repeat can also like become part of a character's thing. Sure. Right. Like if you just like embrace it and you're just like, I love it. Like every time it's just, I love it. Like then that can also, that's also a way to build a character is to repeat something. Just own it. So Charles and I are also going to give it a go. I see Wormy. Yeah, Wormy will make a. Where is he? Wormy will make an appearance for this one. So I need another location. It can be about a terrible place to go on vacation, and then another. What would be
Branson.
Branson. Oh, good. Why did you guys both say Branson at the same time? Oh my god. Okay. So we're going to Branson. And then what would be weird to find in the belly of a polar bear?
The South Pole.
Like it ate the pole. Like not the North Pole. It's the South Pole. Hiya, Dans. So we found a pole. How about we just found a pole? A pole is our object, and we're in Branson. Okay. Oh boy, do I love Branson!
Yeah, me too. It's great to have our vacation here. That was a good choice.
Yes, it was. I couldn't think of anywhere else in the world I'd rather be.
That's correct. Branson is the place to be. Boy, look at all the sights. There's so many things to see here.
Exactly. There's a Walmart.
Yeah.
And a McDonald's.
I see that.
And another Walmart.
Oh, you can't have too many Walmarts. That's what I always say. I've said it since the day I was born.
You have always said it since the day you were born.
Mm-hmm.
I've been with you every day since the day you were born.
Yes.
Son.
And that's why, Dad, we're going on vacation here in Branson! Oh my God, there's a polar bear.
Oh, yes there is. Oh dear God. Oh. Don't worry, son. I know exactly what to do.
Thanks, Dad. You're so brave, Dad.
Yes, I am. Hey, polar bear! Go away!
That'll get Dad. Look.
Thank you. Yes, it will. The other thing you need to do is make yourself as big as the polar bear to scare them away.
Okay. Show me how it's done, Dad.
Of course I will. I would love to. Look at how big I am now.
You look immensely larger than you
did before.
Of course I do, because I've expanded myself to at least one tiny bit taller than what I was before.
One day, Dad, I hope to be as great and as large as you.
And you will, son! You absolutely will!
Yeah.
And remember that, because I might get eaten today.
Okay, Dad. Okay. Dad?
Yes, son!
I think the polar bear is upset about something. Maybe something he's upset about his tummy.
Oh! I think you're right, because when you said that, he agreed.
Yes. We have an affirmation from the polar bear himself.
Oh,
Or her.
yeah, true.
Or non-binary polar bear.
True, yes.
Yes.
You want to cover all of the spectrums of gender identities.
Let's include all polar bears, no matter what their gender presentation is.
Of course.
Yes, yes.
But I have some bad news, son.
What?
The only way to settle an upset stomach, the bear's stomach,
Yes.
is for them to eat a worm.
Well, okay, Dad, but that means the only worm that we have here is you.
Yes!
So, you want to feed yourself to the polar bear to solve the problem?
Yes!
You will sacrifice your wormness to solve the problem of the polar bear?
Yes! I think that's fantastic! Me too!
Yeah!
I'm not gonna go get eaten, son!
Okay,
I love you!
I love you too!
Yeah, I love your sister more, but you're number 2 in my book!
Sure, we've always known.
Oh, sorry! Oh, God, I gotta go now! This is my flight!
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to miss this polar bear and have to wait for the next one!
Get chewed up real good, Dad!
I totally will, son! I love you!
I love you!
But I love your sister more!
That's always been clear, Dad! That's always been clear!
I really love your sister!
Yeah,
You were actually kind of disappointing! I'm still alive!
I know, Dad.
Yeah!
I know I told on you when you raped our sister.
Yeah, wait, what?
And
Scene! Alright! That's kind of fun. Yes! Yes, I'm gonna do this! I have no choice but the yes!
Yeah,
That was actually kind of a fun.
that escalated quickly.
Yeah. That might be a game to like just throw in as like an early game. It's just like you have to constantly just agree.
We're going to demonstrate the first rule of improv of agreeing by playing this game. We call it agreeing, and we literally are just going to agree to everything.
Yeah, like we should murder that person.
Yes!
Yeah! It's like everything, no matter how it goes, will be a yes. Okay, so now we're going to go over the third rule of improv. Really? My first rule.
Always be closing.
Always be closing.
Always be closing.
First rule of business.
It's what makes Mixer chat. Oh yeah. If you're here new, okay, you dressed in whispers. Okay, cool.
If you're nude.
Thanks, Mod. So what we're gonna do now is go over the third rule of improv, which is don't ask questions. And there is a way that you can ask questions and still add to a scene, but that's more of an advanced
But
technique.
only John can do that.
But only, yeah. So it's better off when you're first learning improv to try and avoid questions at all costs. And we're actually going to do a game now where we only do questions.
May I spend $1 million to ask a question?
Yes, you can. Of course you can. So we're going to do a game where we only play questions so you can see what happens when questions are asked. A lot of times people get confused and they think that because they're asking a question, they're agreeing and they're adding. But a question is not agreeing. It's possible agreement and it's also possible denial. And you're also, what happens is it starts backing your scene partner into a corner. You are no longer building something with forward momentum. You're almost, it's like you're sidestepping, or a question is more of a lateral move. And a lot of times it can put your scene partner on alert because maybe they say something, a one-off thing that you should have just accepted it as truth, but then you decided, oh yeah, and how did that happen? And you have to remember, like, your partner doesn't have any context for what they just said. So to now have them have to give context for that instead of just accepting it can kind of set the scene back a step. Because now they have to come up with some reasoning they weren't prepared to give for this thing that they said. So it's always stronger to just accept it and move forward. But this is a game that I have seen. I think they had this one on Who's Line of questions only. It's just the joke of they're constantly trying to talk in questions. But in real improv, you don't really want to ask questions because you'll notice that as we're doing the scene, it's almost like the two partners are circling around the outside of building something, and they're not actually building anything together. It's this weird lateral walk around thing. But yeah, we're going to try. My phone won't allow FTL to enable. Oh yeah, they started doing a thing. FTL is faster than light. It's what allows you to see the chat in us to see the chat in real time and for you to see the video in real time. And if your mobile phone or your internet connection is not strong enough for that, it will default to not having it on. Which means you'll just have, I think, like a 7-second delay or something like that. So we're going to do a game of questions. We're just going to line up. We'll just do one on either side. And we're going to try to do as many questions as we can. And if someone can't come up with a question, that person's going to get tagged out. The next person's going to walk in. And they're just going to pick up where it left off. And also, we'll just say we'll just reset at that point. Like, don't feel like you need to continue where that other one was going. Just walk in and start a complete new line of questioning.
Okay.
Sound good? Yep. I'm going to grab a puppet. I only grabbed so many puppets for this. Pancakes. This is the last one of that. So I'll grab pancakes. And we'll just start with doing as many questions as we possibly can. We'll just do it down here.
That'll look real good.
We'll show you how you actually this is how you actually shoot puppets on a film set. And then they're like, you almost got it. You almost got it. All right, you're good. We got the shot.
That's good.
Wait a minute. How come you
Just
get this
anyway.
soft pad?
Yeah. Get rid of that pad.
I'm going to do it from up here.
Hey.
Just any way you can cram that puppet into frame.
4 inch too tall. Can we get rid of that pad?
Does it hurt yet? Yes. Yay.
Can we get rid of that comfortable pad? Yeah, that's the shot. Hey, how's it going?
Why would you ask me something like that on a day like this?
Are those your shoes?
Are you insinuating they might be someone else's shoes?
Why would they be anyone else's?
Why do you think I would know something like that?
Are you questioning my logic?
Do you think I'd ask you a question like that if I didn't want to know the answer?
Nope.
What time is it?
I didn't think.
Is this where we catch the bus? The bus? I said butts, but is this where we catch the bus?
Were you talking to me?
Are you hard of hearing?
Yep.
Why am I so lonely? Is it? Hi.
Hi.
Okay, are we ready? Are we ready?
Are you my grandson?
Are you my grandmother?
Is this the Tammany Hall?
Which way did he go?
Why are you asking me?
Did he not come through here?
Do you think I was paying attention?
Was he wearing a hat?
Why would I know such a silly little thing?
Are those your shoes?
Didn't somebody else ask that a little while ago?
Yes!
Do they offer soup here?
Why would they offer soup?
Are you
It's
hungry?
a chopper's place.
Are you hungry?
am I looking that emaciated that you would ask me that?
Is there anybody else who'll do this scene with me?
Why don't you want to do this scene with me?
Is this the way the game is run?
Are you saying I don't know how to play the game?
Do you know the English language?
What is English language?
Am I insane?
Am I insane?
Is that what I just said?
Yup.
Which way did he go? Who are you looking for? Is that a question? No, it's not.
Is this seat taken?
Would you like it?
How would I know?
Why wouldn't you know?
Is there anyone else around here I could talk to?
Nope.
Just what kind of apiary is this anyway?
Would it bother you to know a new one? I don't know.
What do you mean by that, friend?
Could you please clarify?
What kind of apiary is this? It's a place where bees are kept.
What's an apiary again?
I was trying to build up a monkey pun. My God. Has this milk turned?
Have you tried smelling it?
Have you?
Didn't I ask you first?
If it's turned, would it be green like this?
Does it look chunky to you?
Is that a mouse?
Yup!
What's your name?
Steve?
What's the weather gonna be like today?
Why would I know?
Well, aren't you a meteorologist?
Why would you bring that up? You know it's a touchy subject. You know I never graduated.
Did I trigger something?
What do you mean did you trigger something?
Are you often put off by what people say? Do these pants make my hips look wide?
Do you want them to look wide?
If I... What? I'm leaving.
Won't you come back with your wide hips?
Hey, don't I know you from somewhere?
Don't I know you?
Didn't I just ask someone that?
Was that me?
Hey, where were you last night?
Where was I? Are you still looking at me? Do you want to touch my tongue too?
Can I? That's nice.
Not there.
Is that all we want to do?
Did you want to do something else?
Is the game longer than just what we've done?
No.
Are there any other components to this game?
What if we had a third?
What if we do add a third?
Did someone ask for a third?
Would you like to join us?
Didn't I just do that?
Did I hear fourth?
Would fourth actually make the game work better?
Did somebody say fifth?
Are you hard of hearing?
Did someone say fifth?
Did someone say sixth?
Is this where we catch the bus?
Who's on first?
Where are my pants?
When does this game end?
Right now. And
Scene.
that's it.
All right, questions only But you can see, like, it just starts to get frustrating. Yeah. Like, the more someone's asking you
You
questions.
just start to hit a bunch of dead ends.
Yeah.
It's just snake eating itself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, oh, I like that. Just taking itself.
An Ouroboros.
An Barbaros.
So, like, as you can see, like, overall, like, asking people questions is not the strongest thing that you can do in a scene, as opposed to just taking what they're saying and adding to it. Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, we got Vanessa too on keys. There's her hand. How does the piano sound? We didn't have the piano on that side of the room when we did the mic
How does
check.
it sound? Should we fire Vanessa?
Yeah, have you? We've been on mute the whole time. We'd start back from.
All right.
The next one. So we did the rules of improv: listen, yes, and don't ask questions.
One of us is getting voted off.
Someone's getting voted off the audience. Yeah, it's probably me. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a game. The next one is make strong declarative statements. The best thing you can do to build a scene is to start setting very clear rules. And it's important to know that when you're building a scene, if something has not been declared, it's fair game to be declared. You could do a whole scene for like 5 minutes, and all of a sudden your partner says, but what would you know because you're a polar bear? And if it has not been declared that you're not a polar bear, you are now a polar bear. So anytime a strong declarative statement would be like, we always do this, I always do that, we never do this, I'm going to go get that, I'm moving this over here. It's a very clear action statement or a rule that you are making for the world that you are creating, that it's the strongest way that you can add something. And we usually do a warm-up game for this. And it's the game where we jump into the center and we have an object like jellyfish. And the person in the center of the circle has to start saying facts about jellyfish. And they usually start in the line of jellyfish, but then it just starts getting more and more absurd. But the idea is that everyone on the outside of the circle is always saying yes to what that person is saying. So this is twofold. It's yes and because you're accepting it. You're not asking questions about it. And the person's making a strong declarative statement that you are accepting as truth. And in this world that you're creating, jellyfish do make great defense attorneys. They go, jellyfish are great because they live in the ocean. Yes. Jellyfish are great because they live in salt water. Yes. Jellyfish are great because they're great on sandwiches. Yes. Jellyfish are great because they know how to drive Subarus. Yes. Jellyfish are great because they're the only ocean mammal that's been to space. Yes. Yes. Yeah! They're now ocean mammals, and they've been to space. So it doesn't matter what that person is saying. All the people on the outside are just supporting them by saying yes. So we're just going to do a round of those. Someone want to give us something to start off with? It can be any sort of object. It can be jellyfish, types of cars. Give us like an object or an animal, or just give us a noun. It can be a person, place, or thing.
But if it's stupid,
yeah, we have all the rights to say no to it.
Nice background noise. That's a suggestion.
No, that's Vanessa.
That's not
Vanessa has
background
nice
noise.
background.
That's just Vanessa.
I want to give Sugar a chance to add sandwiches. All right, Dan Sparks is going to say sandwiches. So we're going to start with sandwiches, and then how about the person that jumps out gives the next person their thing? Okay.
All right.
Does that work?
Sure.
Okay. So we'll start with Sam. Who wants to start with jumping in the center? Charles, you're kind of in the center.
Yeah, sure. Am I in the center?
You are. We're going to push you towards the center.
We've never done this.
Come here, Lizard. Come here.
Okay.
Now you're going to say things, and we're going to agree to you.
Okay.
All right?
All
If you
right,
want
sure.
this to go smoothly.
All right. Okay. Sandwiches are great because they're right in the middle.
Yes!
Sandwiches are great because they're comfy.
Yes!
Sandwiches are great because they are a good listener.
Yes!
Sandwiches are great because they have a good, clean driving record.
Yes!
Sandwiches are great because they never expire.
Yes!
Sandwiches are great because they're bait for fish.
Yes!
Sandwiches are great because they can roll 3 strikes in a bowling alley.
Yes!
Sandwiches are great because they're colorful.
Yes!
Sandwiches are great because they smell good.
Yes!
Sandwiches are great because they have a good plan for for the economy.
Yeah!
Sandwiches are great because they could be vice president of the United States.
Yeah!
Sandwiches are great because they have a good foreign policy.
Yeah!
Sandwiches are great because they go to sleep right away.
Yeah!
Sandwiches are great because they wipe away your tears.
Yeah!
Sandwiches are great because they always have the right answer.
Yeah!
Sandwiches are great because they are your God.
Yeah!
Sandwiches are great because they solve every problem.
Yeah!
Sandwiches are great because they are your salvation.
Yeah!
I'm done.
Okay! What do you want the next thing to be?
I want the next thing to be toilets.
Toilets are great because they can flush.
Yay!
Toilets are great because they hold your poop.
Yay!
Toilets are great for accepting pee.
Yay!
Toilets are a great place to do a sink shower.
Yay!
Toilets are great because it's where you can put your dead fish.
Yay!
Toilets are great because the waste goes straight to the ocean.
Yes!
Toilets are great because they're made out of porcelain.
Good idea!
Toilets are great because they're a nice shiny white color.
Yes, they are!
The toilets are great because you can find them in a tiled room.
Yeah!
Toilets are great because you can get them to go.
Oh, yeah!
Toilets are great because they have unique aromas.
Yes!
Toilets are great because they're always wet.
Yes!
Toilets are great because they have them in space.
Yes!
Toilets are great because I've seen them in Australia.
Yes!
Toilets are great because they spiral the other way in Europe.
Yes!
The toilets are great because they know 6 different languages.
Yes!
The toilets are great because they make great short order cooks.
Yes!
Toilets are great because they make great dentists.
Yes!
Toilets are great because they're great.
Yeah!
Crabs.
Crabs are great because they have exoskeletons.
Yes!
Crabs are great because they eat kelp.
Yes!
Crabs are great because they pinch you on your genitals.
Yes!
Crabs are great because they walk sideways.
Yes!
Crabs are great because they can breathe in space.
Yes!
Crabs are great because they glow in the dark.
Yes!
Crabs are great because they're made out of potassium.
Yes!
Crabs are great because they can turn invisible.
Yes.
Crabs are great because they hover around 3 inches above the ground.
Yes!
Crabs are great because they have 16 legs and 2 eyes.
Yes!
Crabs are great because they are hollow.
Yes!
Crabs are great because they're flammable.
Yes!
Crabs are great because they have no nutritional value despite being made out of potassium.
Yes! Thank goodness.
Crabs are great because they are not racist as far as we know.
Yes! As far as we know, yes.
Crabs are great because they only spell your name backwards.
Yes!
Crabs are great because they can't write.
Yes.
Yes!
Crabs are great because they built the first Apple computer.
Yes!
Crabs are great because they saved your father from a burning building.
Yes!
Crabs are great because they set that building on fire to
Yes!
kill a terrorist.
Yes!
Crabs are great because they showed you that your father is a terrorist after they saved him from that burning building, only to execute him in the streets, and you thanked them for it.
Yes!
That's all I have to say.
What am I talking about?
Oh, you're gonna talk about plywood.
Plywood is great because it is flat.
Yes!
Plywood is great because it helps people who've been in hurricanes protect their windows.
Yes!
Plywood is great because it's full of fiber.
Yes!
Plywood is great because you can sit on it.
Yes!
Plywood is great because you can cut it up and build things.
Yes!
Plywood is great because you have it on the floor and you stand on it.
Yes!
Plywood is great because it gives jobs to miners.
Yes!
Plywood is great because it comes from Arkansas.
Yes!
Plywood is great because they used it in outer space.
Yes!
Plywood is great because it's been endorsed by Flash Gordon.
Yes!
Plywood is great because Tony the Tiger says so.
Yes!
That's literally nothing. There's nothing else great about Flight.
Yes!
Boom! A game of agreeing, making strong declarative statements.
Or rambles. One of the two.
Or rambles. One of the two.
Oh, I'm just reading them.
It's okay.
Reading all their remarks.
GG.
GG. Okay, so now we've gone through 4 rules of improv. We've gone through listen, yes, and don't ask questions, and make strong declarative statements. The next one is don't walk in with a strong idea or a joke. The idea of walking in with a joke. The problem with walking in with some sort of joke is that a joke has a punchline, which usually will end a thought, and you're not looking to create something that ends. You want to create something that your partner can definitely move forward with. And you don't want to walk in with a strong idea because that will start hindering your listening. And a lot of times you start creating... Bye, Jeff! You start creating your own motive for a scene. And a lot of times it's hard for... Like, say you have an idea, you walk in, and your idea is about polar bears, but your partner is talking about ice cream. But in your mind, you really want to go to this. You think you have this clever idea, and you really want to take it to polar bears. Well, that it might not be a smooth transition into your idea. So that comes back to listening to your partner and being in the moment and accepting what they are saying and adding to it. Because once you start having this idea back here of something you want to do, you're no longer listening to your partner. You're working on how do I get my idea into the scene. So a lot of times when you're doing a scene with somebody, or at least when I'm doing a scene with somebody, if they say something that triggers an idea for me, if they keep talking and that moment is gone, you have to let go of that idea no matter how clever you think it is. Because if it no longer fits in that moment, you can't keep driving your motive. You need to be completely okay with letting go of that and coming up with a new one, a new response that comes from listening and adding to the scene. And it's a hard move for a lot of beginning improvisers to do because they're very nervous about trusting their scene partner to build with them. They feel there's this anxiety or this weight of I need to create something that is going to get laughs. So they try to pre-plan something and walk in with that plan, and then they become very headstrong on that plan, and it's not always the best option. So you kind of don't want to walk in with a very strong idea. So I don't really have a game to demonstrate that one. I'm going to have to try and come up with a game where that can be used. But just the idea is just don't always try to be in the moment, always be listening, always be accepting what your partner is saying and adding to it and not questioning it. And making strong declarative statements. And if you're doing those and you're not walking in with something, an idea of your own, then you're going to start building a very solid thing. Hey, Arcade Angel, how are you? Welcome in. Good to see you. Hello. Oh, I just saw your creeper face. I have the chat here and the camera there. So I'm trying to talk to the camera there, and then I have chat rolling over here. So we're just going over rules of improv.
So I think I have an idea for, I don't know if it's a game, but what we could do is spitballing. We could have 2 people having a conversation, and every person at the end of their line has to tell the other person how they're going to react. So it's like, I just burned down the village, and you're thrilled about it. And so you're saying something, and then they don't know until the end of the line how they're supposed to feel about it.
Oh.
So you can throw them a curveball, you can give them the expected response. So it's just sort of like a declarative, you feel this about it, you are this.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that. We can give that a shot if you guys want to try that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that you have to sort of think on your feet.
Cool. Arcade Angel, we do Tipsy Kangaroo's Naughty Puppet Review here at the Bryant Lake Bowl. The second Saturday of every month. We're going to start live streaming it. And then we're going to start live streaming our rehearsals on Saturday mornings. And so this is where we will be getting suggestions from the chat and stuff like that for different improv games. I'll switch the camera back over in a second. Let's get what's something that's in your junk drawer? When you open up your junk drawer, what's in there? Sure. Just anything. You open up Brian's trunk drawer.
Yeah.
And what's in Brian's trunk drawer? Because I know you don't have one, Angel. Yeah. So yeah, pick any object. It could be batteries, a screwdriver, a pin,
Butt plug.
Brian's butt plug.
Benoit balls.
His beads.
Gimp suit.
Well, Brian prays.
How come when we're talking about butt plugs, the robot is like,
Flippers.
by the way,
Yeah,
these
yeah.
Rue's merch.
You can get some.
Come
merch
and get some butt plugs.
lube.
She gets the butt
Okay,
plugs.
lube. You're gonna find lube in the trunk drawer. So lube will be your object.
Okay.
And the idea is that as you're doing the scene, you're not gonna know how you react to it until your partner tells you at the end of the line.
Okay.
And we'll see how this goes. We've never tried this before.
So
It's
lube, that's the only.
lube. Yep.
Okay.
Or rope.
Wow. Well, they're always in the same drawer,
Okay.
right?
Ah, the door is squeaking. We need something to fix it. Will you look on the drawer? And, you're bored.
I guess you're excited for how bored I am.
I've never seen you this bored. But will you be able to help me? Be angry.
No, I can't help you! I'm bored! You're super sad about my anger!
You've triggered something deep down inside me with your anger. I wanted you to look in the junk drawer to see if we had anything in there that'll help the squeaky door. You're inquisitive.
Whoa, there's a squeaky door there. Wasn't listening before. You are hungry.
I know this squeaky door needs to be fixed, but will you make some pancakes? I'm so hungry! Indignant.
I will not make pancakes. I'm busy doing that other thing that you asked me to do. Huff, huff, huff. You are really aroused by my behavior. Get around to this drawer.
Oh, I don't want to say goodbye, but I'd like to see you leave. Yeah!
Oh, look in that drawer. Look in that drawer.
Batteries.
Hold on.
Look in there.
Tipsy Kangaroo.
What do you find?
brand butt plug.
What do you find? What do you find?
Ah!
And you are, excited.
Woo! I found some lubricant! You are confused.
What do you need lubricant for? The door is squeaky. Determined.
I am going to unsqueak this door even if I have to use strawberry-flavored sexual lubricant to do so! You are threatening to leave me.
If you use strawberry lubricant to solve the problem with that door, I'm leaving.
And if you use strawberry lubricant on that door, I'm coming in.
Oh, it's our old friend! That sexy neighbor!
Mr. Tortoise! Hi, Mr. Tortoise.
Hi, kids! What you doing with all that lube?
Well, tell him, Spanky.
Well, kids,
You're sad about it.
oh, kids. To tell you the truth, I don't know what I'm doing with my life, with this lubricant, anything. You're both being very supportive right now.
We understand.
He totally understands.
It's totally okay.
So do I.
You are welcome here,
And your hair looks great.
and I like red. I've always liked red.
And I like that you have two eyes, and so do I.
That's right, that's right. Dowdy.
Oh, I don't know. You guys are just trying to say that to make me feel better, which means you hate me.
I cannot stand you, by the way.
And you are loving me.
But I can't resist you.
Yeah!
Those two eyes.
You're
God.
so
Oh, I'm gonna get the lube.
Woohoo!
I'm already there!
I'm already there.
I said seed! Yeah, you're stopping! You're stopping! Alright. Seed, dear God! I like that. That was kind of fun. Yeah, that was a good addition. I like that. We can keep playing that one.
I don't know what to call it, but
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Yeah, how does that make you feel? Yeah. Let me tell you how you feel. Let me tell you how you feel about that. Okay, so this is one more game that we are going to play. And this is a game, this is one of my favorite rules, and then I came up with a game for it like a couple days ago, so we're going to see how this goes. This is my bonus rule. It's not a rule that you need to do necessarily, but it is a rule of improv that will enhance your scene a lot. And that is the idea of using strong and descriptive words. The rule is called don't say candy bar when you can say Milky Way. And it's the more descriptives that you can throw into what you are saying, the better picture you're building, the more you're adding to it, the more your partner has to draw from. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with just a very basic statement. We'll just go, I was doing this while doing that. This would be like, I was cruising down the street while eating my lunch. And then at the end of that, we're just going to say, add more. So you're going to go back and you're going to say that exact statement again, but you're going to start adding in more descriptors. And the idea is, by the end, you're just adding in so many, it's ridiculous. And when you're doing a scene partner, you may not be in the mindset to add a whole bunch of things. This is definitely something that you're planning, but you're getting your mind into the mode of using descriptive words and not just using generics. So if you can throw in, like, I was driving down the street in my Subaru instead of I was driving down the street in my car, just adding in that little Subaru kind of ups the scene a little bit, and the more descriptives you can throw in, the better. So I would say something, so for example, for me would be, I was driving down the car eating my lunch. Add more. I was driving north down Sunset Boulevard, finishing off my bone-in ribeye. Add more. Okay, it was a rainy day. I was headed north on Sunset Boulevard, driving my lime green Subaru, and I was finishing off my leftover medium rare bone-in ribeye. Add more. It was a rainy day. I was cruising at 25 north down Sunset Boulevard in my 2005 lime green Subaru Baja while finishing off my Ruth Chris leftover medium rare bone-in ribeye that I finished off with a lollipop. Add more. Okay, I was cruising. It was rainy day. I was cruising with the top down in my 2005 Subaru Baja with one flat tire, party in the front, business in the front, party in the back. Finishing off my leftover Ruth's Chris bone-in ribeye that was cooked medium rare by finishing it off with a Grape Charms blow pop. And you're just going to keep adding in more and more descriptors as you go. You're not trying to go from 1 to 100. You just kind of want to baby step your way through it and learn those baby steps, because most likely in a scene you're going to be using baby steps and you're not going to be hitting strong descriptors. And the fun thing about this game is it's a game you can play by yourself when you are riding a bus or just walking down the street or whatever. You can just say a very generic statement and then just tell yourself to add more. And it doesn't matter the speed in which you're adding descriptors. It's just the fact that you are challenging yourself to start thinking in that way. See, the way my brain is set up, I'd forget what I said after the first sentence. That happens too. But as long as you're just adding more to it, like, you're just getting yourself to add more. So let's just start off with, who wants to try this one first?
Mark does. Sure.
Mark very triumphantly said he wants to do it. Thanks to Charles' suggestion.
I was still in the last game.
So just start with a very basic sentence. I was doing this while doing that.
I was walking down the street with an ice cream cone.
Add more.
I was walking down Kookaburra Boulevard with a Baskin-Robbins ice cream cone.
Add more.
I was walking down Kookaburra Boulevard last week with a chocolate Baskin-Robbins ice cream cone.
Add more.
I was walking down Kookaburra Avenue while I was day drunk last week. Well, scarfing down a chocolate and mint ice Baskin-Robbins ice cream cone with a cherry dip.
Add more.
I was walking down Kookaburra Boulevard last
week well day drunk on peppermint schnapps, scarfing down a chocolate and mint ice cream, Baskin Robbins ice cream cone with a cherry dip, wearing my best ballet slippers.
Add more.
I was walking backwards down Kookaburra Boulevard, well day drunk on peppermint schnapps, scarfing down a chocolate and mint ice cream, Baskin Robbins cone with a cherry dip. Wearing my best ballet slippers that my grandmother smuggled out of the Holocaust in her rectum.
More.
Oh God.
I was walking backwards down Kookaburra Boulevard last week on a Sunday, I believe, while day drunk on peppermint schnapps, eating a chocolate and mint Baskin Robbins ice cream cone with a cherry dip. It was all sugar-free because I'm diabetic, you know. I was wearing my best ballet slippers that my grandmother smuggled out of the Holocaust in her rectum, and she forgot to take them out for 35 years. That's why they're that color.
Beautiful.
Amazing.
All right. All right, Charles, you're up to start with something very basic. Don't overthink it. I was doing this while doing that.
I was knitting while looking out at a field.
Add more.
I was in a rocking chair knitting while looking out in a field.
Add more.
I was in a rocking chair knitting a sweater while looking out in a field of grass.
Add more.
I was knitting a sweater in a rocking chair while looking out at a field of grass that had a cow in it.
Add more.
I was sitting in a rocking chair knitting a sweater for my son, looking out into a field of grass with a cow in it, a black and white cow.
Add more.
I was in a rocking chair knitting my son while looking out at a grassy field with a black and white cow that spoke to me.
Describe the sweater. Add more.
Okay, I was sitting in a rocking chair knitting a blue sweater for my mentally challenged son while looking out in a field of grass at a black and white cow that was speaking to me.
More about the sweater. Add more.
I was sitting in a rocking chair knitting a cable knit blue and green sweater for my mentally challenged son while looking out at the grassy field with a black and white cow that was talking to me.
Add more about the sweater. Add more.
I was sitting in a rocking chair painfully knitting a cable knit sweater that was blue and green for my mentally challenged son while I was looking out at a grassy field with a black and white cow that was speaking to me.
More about the cow. Add more.
I was sitting in a rocking chair, painfully knitting a cable knit sweater that was blue and green for my mentally challenged son, while I looked out into a grassy field with a black and white cow that said, "You should stop."
More about the sun. Add more.
I was sitting in a rocking chair, painfully knitting a cable knit sweater that was blue and green for my mentally challenged son, while looking out at a brightly lit grassy field with a black and white cow that told me I had to stop.
Give a name to your son. Add more.
I was sitting in a rocking chair, painfully knitting a cable knit sweater that was blue and green for my mentally challenged and depressed son, Matt, while looking out at the brightly lit grassy field with a black and white cow that was telling me quite plainly to stop.
Okay.
Ooh, wow. Yeah, I wasn't sure how. I was trying to save myself, actually.
Yeah, you
So I
trying
was
to like create a safety net for yourself.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't want to get too far ahead of myself.
Yeah, we'll just keep building into that one. But I definitely want to get you more comfortable just adding more. You were kind of adding more generics to it, but if you're trying to be safe. You're
Yeah.
saying like adding like a cow, but like
Yeah.
it's more like a black and white cow that was missing a leg and only gave out chocolate milk.
So it's
Like,
about
so you
the-
really want to
yeah.
get some more like detail.
Yeah.
cow named Barbara.
Yeah, so it's like I was trying to feed you, like,
Gotcha.
thinking more about the sweater. So maybe I was painfully knitting a wet sweater
Oh,
made
yeah.
out of human hair from the barber shop
Yes.
down the street, like, so you can just start getting a little bit more comfortable doing
Oh, yeah.
like those kinds of things. I'm feeling pretty good about where we are at this point. Is there anything else you guys want to try? At this point, I would just like try alphabet game and just breaking that down, or we can. You want to try that one? Okay, so we'll do.
It's always a pickup spot for I think all of us at some point or another.
Cool. So we are gonna play another game for you. This will probably we've been on for about an hour and 10, so we'll probably finish it off with the alphabet game, and then I think moving forward we have a lot of games that we play and during the show. So each time we come back on Saturdays, we're just gonna start dissecting the games that we play and what makes them strong, and not only to clarify for people who are watching, but also just to remind ourselves how you can create a strong scene together. So this next one that we're going to do is a game called the Alphabet Game. And the way that this game works is you have two people in a scene. It's a 27-line scene because you're actually working through the alphabet together. So if we're doing a scene together, the first person's line has to start with the letter A. The next person, their line has to start with the letter B. And then back to this person is C, and then D, and then E. So like an example would be, always wear your seatbelt, but I don't want to wear my seatbelt. Cool people wear their seatbelts. Don't tell me how to live my life. Everyone out there who is cool is wearing their seatbelt, and you're going to do it. Fuck off, Dad. I'm not wearing my seatbelt. Get out of my car. So it's just going to be back and forth, and you're working your way through the alphabet. And then there's also a lot of layers underneath this. I'll play this one with, I think Charles went to the bathroom.
Yeah,
So I'm going to play with Mark. And what makes this game strong is not only getting through the alphabet together, it's also you want to be paying attention to building a scene that is basically like worthy of watching. Like you want to hit all the major parts of building a scene, which is what is the premise of the scene? What's the situation that they're in? What is their relationship? Is there a conflict going on? Can we resolve that conflict? Like you want to make sure that you're trying to make this scene a complete thought. And if you can hit relationship and location and problem and solution all in those 27 lines, then you have built a pretty solid scene together. But those are the points that you're trying to hit while you're also doing the alphabet. And it's a very difficult game to play, but it's also one of my favorites. It's usually our opening game for any show that we do is the alphabet game. And we're going to try running through that now. Hey, Angel, are you still there? Or is Leech still there? Who's in the chat right now? Will you do me a favor? Will you just like slap the center of your keyboard and hit send? Doesn't have to say a word. Just slap it. Okay, we're going to start with the letter S. Because S was the first one that popped up. So we'll start on the letter S. And then can you give us where would be like a terrible place to go on a honeymoon? Like, where would you hate to go? Okay.
It doesn't have to start with S.
Doesn't have to start with S. That's just the letter we're going to start on.
Terrible place for a honeymoon.
Terrible place to go. Just absolutely horrible. No!
No repeats.
No whisper. So what's wrong with that? That's where I plan on taking mine. Terrible place. Just like, you can take me anywhere. Anywhere on my honeymoon. To the mother-in-law's. Okay, we'll go to our mother-in-law's house. We're starting with the letter S. I'll switch this back over so we can get a sharper view. All right, I'll be the squirrel.
So we could have gone anywhere with the money we got, but we came to your mother-in-law's house?
To tell you the truth, it wasn't really about the money so much as it was about me wanting to get a better relationship with my mother and you.
Unfortunately, I'm not looking for the same kind of growth in relationship between your mother and me.
Very interesting. So bring this up?
X marks the spot.
W.
What?
Exactly.
You know, it's not too late. We could change locations. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is a nice basement.
That's so. Nice basement, huh? Huh? That's the tone you're gonna take? The sarcastic tone?
Actually, now that I look at it, with the clown paintings and all the taxidermied cats and the shag carpeting and the rust orange wall paint from the 70s, this does kind of feel like home to me. Maybe your mother-in-law and I do have a lot in common.
But, the one thing is, the smell.
Cardamom? You don't like the smell of cardamom?
Don't think it's cardamom.
Ew! Ew! Over there smells like cardamom. Over here smells like...
Farts and pizza.
Gag! Fights and pizzas! Man, that reminds me of my college days.
Hey, the pizza, though it smells like farts, doesn't seem too old. In case you want to have a honeymoon dinner.
I could eat. Is there any pepperoni or sausage or meat lovers?
Just let me take a look here, and well, there's definitely some kind of protein, though I'm not sure which one.
No, I don't. The protein's not important. What's important is the sustenance on our honeymoon in your mother-in-law's basement before I make sweet love to you.
Let me just scrape off some of these fuzzy parts, and I'll romantically feed you a slice of this stinky pizza.
I can't wait to put that stinky pizza in my mouth.
Nobody's ever said a more romantic phrase ever since Beauty and the Beast, probably.
Okay.
Please, manners.
Right.
Oh,
Wait.
oh, BQ.
You. Okay.
Right. I love you too.
So, now that I'm well fed, should we make love? Let's do it. All right.
We made it through.
We made it through
And
it.
this time you're the one who didn't know the alphabet.
Nope, I didn't know the alphabet. I tried hard. Woo! Charles, you want to give it a try? You want to play some alphabet?
Sure.
I'll take the bullet. I'll do another one.
Okay.
Take this guy. Someone else. I need improv practice bad. Hey, if you wanna, you're in Chicago. If you wanna come up to Minneapolis, you can join us any Saturday if you want, Angel.
Unless you suck.
Unless you suck. This is not a place for practice, that's for sure. So let's do. I do. So let's do another one. Someone else, or even Angel can do it again. Just slap the keyboard and send us that. And that'll give us a starting letter. And then let's just put ourselves in the desert.
Desert.
Yeah, we'll be in the
J.
desert for this. Okay, so
J.
we're gonna start on the letter J. We'll be in the middle of the desert, and our object is a cactus. We can do whatever we want with that.
Junk. Everywhere. Junk. Sure, we're in the desert, but all I see is junk. Goddamn people just leaving shit all over the place.
Kangaroos over there. They're not junk, are they?
Look. This is an environmental statement I'm making. Can't you see that?
Marsupials are junk in your statement?
No. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that there's tons of junk out here and nobody seems to give a shit.
Oh.
People need to be more sensitive about where they leave their shit.
Quite right.
Right? So, let's take this all the way to the government.
Shit, I'm gonna have to carry all this? I didn't bring a bag or car or anything. We walked here.
Too bad, Phil. What are you gonna do to sacrifice to help this climate crisis?
Unicycle! I can use this unicycle. Here, start putting the trash on top of me.
Very good, Phil. Very good. All right. That's a good idea. Let's get this trash up on top of you. And here's, boy, there's so much here.
Well, just start tossing it to me and I'll catch it. I gotta keep moving back and forth or I'm gonna lose my balance.
Xenomorphic people thinking that we can't do a job to save this climate.
You know, it would be nice if you would start giving me the trash so I don't have to keep doing this balancing thing.
Zebras would help. If we had a whole herd of zebras, we could load a bunch of stuff right on back of the zebras and take it all into town and clean up this desert.
All right, stop putting the trash on my back and start putting it in my hands.
All right. Wait. But. Let me get some first.
Could you just pick up the stuff that's around here? My thighs are really starting to burn.
Damn it, Phil, him.
Evenly. Stack it evenly.
Fuck you in the face, Phil. Doing the best I can.
Gary, God, language. We're out here in the desert by ourselves. What if the cactuses hear us?
Hell, man. I'm trying to help here. Okay.
I'm just gonna start rolling forward, and you're just gonna have to catch up.
Jesus, Phil, wait for me.
And there's our scene. They made it all the way back to Jay. We did it. What can we do? To really bring it home. That one wasn't too bad, but we got through the alphabet. We gotta hit
What should we do?
That was-
take that back.
I was just trying to break down alphabet again.
Oh.
Yeah, just see if we can.
I was really just trying to get through the alphabet game.
Just trying to get
I just wanted to make sure I got through the alphabet game.
Yeah, this game is it's a really hard one.
Because you either nail the alphabet or you nail the scene.
But
It's rare that it's always both.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because John has broken it down to a certain amount of lines, for certain topics or story plot points.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it succeeded as a story.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get. Is how can we
You
make
hit
it?
all the letters, but
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Now we want to make sure that we're telling a story so it's worthy of us coming in on this moment. Why are we bringing the audience here? That's why you want to try to find the premise of it and some sort of conflict or what they're working on together, so you can find a resolution. All in the end.
either a climax or an anticlimax.
Yeah, something you can. I mean, the other thing it turned to is we did one. What was it last month? Where it was A plot, B plot, where Jeff was doing his own thing while I was trying to look for a fire extinguisher, and that turned into an A plot, B plot scenario where we were never on the same plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes there's two plots, and sometimes there's one plot that you start with, and then it becomes a story about something else.
Yeah.
And then you just resolve that second story that it turned into. You don't need to worry
Yeah.
about the first thing, because you already segued away from it.
It's true.
organically. So sometimes it doesn't always need to turn back around to the wrap up in a bow to the beginning. But
Yeah.
it just needs to, like you said, resolve in some satisfying way.
True. I think even if you or you could also start an A plot, a B plot happens, then you can go back and just finish up the A plot and not worry about
ignore
the
the
B.
deep. Yeah.
So it's you want to make
Why-
sure that at some point there is a conflict that is getting resolved out of the whole thing.
You don't need to wrap up every single loose end.
No.
Yeah.
But you do want to wrap up something because that makes the scene worth watching and not just guys trying to get through the alphabet. Yeah. That has to be hard to do because you're thinking of so much. You're thinking of, it's a ridiculous amount of stuff. That's surprising. There's a game in the show where we bring a guest up from the audience, and almost every time we're done playing, the first thing they say to me is, "That is really hard." And we're just playing a game where they don't have a lot of rules, but they're just trying to think of what to say while also keeping the puppet in frame and doing gestures and moving the mouth and looking at something and all that kind of stuff, because it's all of this puppetry technique that we're doing on top of trying to do improv and follow the alphabet. Like, so you're just doing these mental gymnastics where you're trying to keep up with everything that you're doing, and so it can be a lot. But when it hits, man, it hits really. It feels really good. Like you're done, you're like, that scene felt awesome because you do have so much stuff going on.
Well, you just want to do another alphabet game then?
Yeah, we can try the alphabet. You two guys want to try it? Since I just did 2 in the row.
Yeah.
So we'll do one more alphabet game, and then we'll probably wrap up the live stream, and we're at like an hour and a half ish. So this will wrap up our rehearsal for this week, but we will be back again. We need to talk about our schedule. Brian wants to know how many we want to do, but we could probably get in here like 2 to 3 times a month.
I won't be here next week.
Okay.
That's the July 4th weekend.
Even if I can get one of us here, we could work on a game together, or we could do a puppetry workshop thing where we're teaching people technique, or we can work with, if it's just me and Vanessa, or 2 of us and Vanessa, or something like that, we can work with Vanessa on improvising songs and things like that. And then I want to start bringing in guest improvisers who either maybe they want to try puppetry and we could put them through a workshop, or other veteran improvisers and bring them in, and that will help us cast like, oh, that person did really good when we brought them in on a Saturday. Do we want to try book them for like a show?
Yeah.
So that'll just help us scout talent and get people coming in here and just get the word out even more.
Okay.
And then people online will get to know us too, so they'll want to tune in more and
cool. Yeah.
Okay.
take the whole loop.
All right.
So in the meantime, let's do alphabet game. We're gonna do it one more time, and then we're gonna get out of here. Anybody? Oh my gosh, there's so many people here now. Hi everybody. We got a host from somebody. Is that what happened? There's like 40 people in here now. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. We're doing Tipsy Kangaroo's Naughty Puppet Review, Puppet Rehearsals. So make this one really good, guys.
Oh, no.
The
I
brand
wasn't
is on the
planning.
line. So anybody in chat, it can be Angel again, it doesn't matter. Just somebody slap the keyboard and send that to us. And I'm going to put you guys...
Single letter. Where should we start in the alphabet?
Yeah, just give us a letter. And then I'm going to put you guys on a submarine.
G.
G.
We're
So you're
submarine.
starting on the letter G, and you're in a submarine. Let's just go with that. Whenever you guys are ready.
The camera.
Oh, yeah, let me switch over.
Yeah, switch over.
Switch over.
Gangrene. I've got gangrene. Oh, God.
Hey,
For sure.
you smell that funky cheese smell?
I have gangrene in my toes.
Just walking through the submarine here, and I was found some funky foot cheese smell, you know?
Killing me with kindness here. Thanks a lot.
Like, is there like a dead rat that ate a bunch of cheese? Or like a severed foot
Man,
that cheese is like growing on?
don't you have like isn't there like a cure for gangrene? Do we have any cures on the submarine? Like some ointment?
Now, wait a minute. What are you saying here about gangrene? You have gangrene?
Oh, the gangrene, it kind of hurts now. Okay.
Please don't tell me it's contagious, though.
Quiet. I think I heard the gangrene speak.
Really? What did it say?
Something about how it's going to take over my mind, and something about how it's going to take over everybody else in the submarine, too.
Tell me, gangrene, what can I do to appease you? I'll do anything. Kill anyone.
Under the captain's bunk is the treasure map.
Ventriloquism! Whoa! Right?
Well, no. It took over my mind and spoke for me.
Mind control? Is that what you just called that? Mind control?
Yeah.
Sounds. That is some freaky stuff there. More gangrenous foot, mind controlling the captain of a submarine that's armed with nuclear warheads.
It's in my mind.
gangrene in my mind!
Benedetto! Captain Benedetto! You gotta pull yourself together, man! Don't let the gangrene win!
Can't get it out of my mind!
Don't! You gotta fight it, man! You gotta resist the gangrene! Oh, it's spreading up your leg now! Whoa, it's past the time!
End it all! End it! Please! I can't do it myself!
For God's sake, man, pull yourself together! Gangrene! Gangrene!
Yes! All right, like Benedetto, Captain Benedetto.
Oh, that killed me.
Benedetto, Captain Benedetto, pull yourself together, man.
Oh, that was good. All right, I'm never doing alphabet game again. That's it. I'm retiring. So yeah, that felt pretty good. How do you guys feel?
I think it felt like we told a little story, and we, even though it ended in a way that was not like, you know, a conclusive end. I felt like it was a poetic ending. It felt like a narrative ending. Yeah, like it felt like an intentional place to end. You know, gangrene. Because we brought it full circle.
Yeah.
So that's one way you could sort of end it. Is like, even though it didn't wrap everything up in a nice bow, it didn't solve the problem. We still narratively, I feel like, brought it back to the beginning of where we started.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like one version of like a scene. I don't know. I feel like
I really like that was really solid.
And we nailed the alphabet, I think.
I don't think there was any hiccups or anything in the alphabet. Like that was a really solid. That's one where you're done. You go, yeah, like lip sync, iPhone, improv, learn the alphabet, premise, characters, the relationship. Like it all just kind of connected and felt good. Yeah. So yeah, that was a great job, guys.
Cool. Awesome.
Thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It felt very under the sea, like intense,
dramatic.
like submarine. Like I like that.
Red October.
Yeah. It was really good.
The mind control
Gangrene mind control. Yeah, that felt really good. So yeah, this is Tipsy Kangaroo's Naughty Puppet Review. We will be back maybe next Saturday. You can't be here. Can you next Saturday? Can you do it? Do you know? Or Vanessa, do you know? We might be here next Saturday. I don't know. Stay tuned. I'll put it on social media, and we'll figure something out. In the meantime, like our next big live show is Saturday, July 13th. That'll be at 10 p.m. Central. That's when we'll have a live audience in here, and we're going to do the full show. And our guest this month is Rick Logan, who is a veteran improviser in the Twin Cities and a stand-up comedian. So he's going to come in and play with us. And I've booked Heather Meyer for November.
Cool.
But I am looking for September and October. And then Jim Robinson might be joining us again for New Year's Eve.
Okay.
So he might be Jim Robinson did our New Year's Eve show last year, and he absolutely loves our show. So he's looking into New Year's Eve again this year. Whether that one's gonna be live streamed though or not, I don't know, because that one usually sells out. So we might have to figure out something tech wise.
Oh yeah, because we can't
to make that work.
Sequester off like 10 chairs to.
Yeah. I want to find some sort of like Video Village answer that we can do.
They make deer stands. Maybe we could deer stand.
Right?
Somebody up there.
Well, I was saying, what if we did this?
Just get like a.
And then we put Craig back here. And then just run the cables out here for the cameras.
Sure.
And then he's sitting back here like at a table, and he has the computer and everything, and he's just back there doing
an
it.
option.
We could just taper this off.
Yeah, and then we just sort of aimed it all.
Same camera, camera would still be aimed this way.
Yeah, why don't we try that for the next show?
Yeah.
If I can, I have to look at the cabling, see what kind of like extension cords and stuff I would have to get to make that work. Like get the camera feed all the way out to here.
Okay.
Big thing I have to look at was the camera feed and the microphone, and then where I would mount that camera. But yeah, I definitely have time to figure that stuff out. But we could potentially put him up on stage, just behind a curtain. But anyway, glad I got to catch a stream. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, Angel, and thank you for being here, Leech. Deer stand on that pillar. That is an option as long as the guest doesn't trip over things when running behind the curtain. I don't know if the guest would ever go behind the curtain. They just kind of move off to the sides.
We usually shackle them to a spot on the ground anyway.
It's like a chain chomp. They can't go anywhere.
Have a lot of
They're anchored.
freedom.
Yeah, last time was definitely hard because we had 2 guests. So that was the first time we tried 2 human guests plus 4 puppeteers, and that was
It actually worked better than I thought, but it was a lot.
It was very crowded. We had to do a lot of sort of Brady Bunch like.
People like, look at the bathroom they are.
Yeah. But we'll figure stuff out. We definitely have some time between July and September. So once the July show is done, I'll probably be looking more into how can we reconfigure this to get it out, get Craig like back here. But I also need him to call blackouts too. That's the thing. So I'd also need him somewhere where he can call blackouts. Just things to think about. But thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. 2 humans, too much. Thank you guys for being here. Yeah, I'll be streaming again on Monday. Our theme for next week for the morning show is alphabet. So send me some gifts and stuff for the letter A. And no, so Daisy's here now. No, play again. There's a VOD, Daisy, and I'm going to put it on YouTube. It'll be there and you can watch it. But thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Vanessa. We had Vanessa on keys, and we had Charles and Mark here, and Jeff who had to leave us early, but we hope to be back here regularly doing this thing. All right, guys, I'm going to shut it off now, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your Saturday. And we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye! Goodbye! Blah, blah, blah.